Councillor Cox, would you like to exercise right of reply?
Thank you, Lord Mayor, and thank you to the Lord Mayor, to Councillor Martin and Councillor Blakey for trying to constructively vary or amend the motion to get it through. I do really appreciate that constructive debate. Councillor Richard Martin, I have turned up every single day that I have been a councillor here because I care about these issues and I care about our community and our future. I have never once turned up here to pretend that I'm in federal politics and play petty political games, and I think it's pathetic, I think it's petty, I think it turns people off politics, and I don't want to do that in my time here, and I'm just saying that I don't ever want to see a debate like that here again. We're here to talk about Wollongong City Council, and that's why I'm here, and it's because I care. However, I have to defend the record on some of the things that you said because they were really below the belt and they were really unacceptable. The Labor and Liberal Party did a deal to kill the ETS back then. Subsequent to that, Gillard formed a minority government with the Greens and negotiated a price on carbon, which was the most successful mechanism we had in this country for reducing emissions. That was the best time for climate action this country has ever seen, and that happened subsequent to that. So can we please put that to bed? We need to have constructive working relationships both around this table and at all levels of government, and that's exactly what people have been asking for. They don't want to see this kind of petty point scoring. Back to this actual issue, the reason I don't think you listened to a word I said either. I was not asking for an upgrade of every kitchen in all of our community centres tomorrow. I was asking for us, at the end of life, when we are considering replacement, in an orderly fashion, to replace with electricity at the time that they are due. That is what I said. You'd neither read the motion nor listened to what I said. Gas is a fossil fuel, and fossil fuels cause climate change. Electricity is by far and away the easiest part of solving climate change. We already have the technology. Australia has the fastest rate of solar panels being installed in the world. We have the highest amount of solar already. Our capacity to do that is immense. It's already cheaper than fossil fuels to do. That is the easy stuff. This council has already done it. The next hardest thing is gas. We don't have that in our climate mitigation strategy because that is the next part of it. The first part was the first easy bits. The criticism to this motion was simultaneously that we're already doing it and that it's too outrageous, that it was too radical. I mean, that's the most ridiculous juxtaposition I've ever heard. What I'm asking is that now that we have done a very good job of looking at our council profile and our own emissions, that we scale that impact to have an impact right across our city. And that is looking at the regulatory impacts that we have on the way that buildings are built, the energy sources that they're using, so that we are not spending ratepayers' money on infrastructure that will be made obsolete by the time people are living in those houses. In the same way that you said Helensburgh was built on bottled gas, we don't want to be building houses in West Dapto that are built on yesterday's technology that are expensive to run. Gas has gone up 4 times just in the last couple of months. And if you want to talk about global issues, the way to get off Russian gas is to have energy independence through renewable energy, which we have. I'm sorry that I've been more passionate than I usually am, but it's because I care. I'm here because I care, and it makes me profoundly, profoundly disappointed that every time we get a little incremental change on this, people have to be dragged, kicking and screaming. Why can't somebody else care? Why does it always have to be fought for, every incremental step? At what point are we going to be ready to be grown-ups and treat this like a complex policy issue that it is and work together constructively with the energy that it needs to make that transition on time? So I'm glad that the motion is up. I'm glad that we'll be looking at it in the climate mitigation strategy. I can't imagine how relaxing it must feel not to care about climate change, not to feel fear when you smell smoke that there's another bushfire coming and your house might be gone. My family was stuck behind a landslide for 7 days with no food, able to get across to go in and nothing to get out. No one has ever seen anything like that in the history of white people living in Kangaroo Valley. It is something else.
Thank you, Councillor Cox. Councillors, put the motion. All in favour of adoption, please say yes. Yes. Against? It's carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors, and with that I declare the meeting closed.